What's up? Time Magazine's Illegal Immigrant of the Year. Remember that lady from Denver? I think. Yeah, I think she went to Denver. Illegal immigrant. Has been in the United States for like 30 years or something like that, and then she was been deported back and forth. Even made it to a Time Magazine's Illegal Immigrant of the Year, Persons of the Year. So now it's being deported by Trump, and again, the left and liberals up in arms, portraying her as a hero. Well, Nate the lawyer is going to break it down for us. I'm going to post the link on the description straight to that video. So if you want to watch the video all together without my commentary, you're more than welcome to do so. But just keep in mind that I'm going to periodically pause the video for my comments. Let's get it.
A Colorado mom and immigration rights activist who right now is living in the basement of a Denver church finding sanctuary from the Trump administration's deportation push.
Well, this is back in 2017. This is just a flashback. Because it's
has been named to Time's 100 most influential people in the world.
Many months later.
A woman who gained prominence after taking refuge in Colorado churches to avoid deportation under the first Trump administration has been detained. Immigration advocates said Tuesday. Jeanette Vizguerra, a mother of four, was arrested Monday at a Denver area Target store where she worked, according to the American Friends Service Committee.
So the woman that Time Magazine named one of the most influential people in the world is about to be deported.
Most influential. So it doesn't tell you if it's a good thing or a bad thing, or bad influence or good influence. She's been known to break the law, so I'm going to say bad influence. Most bad influence person of the year. She's encouraging people to do the same.
So this is Jeanette Vizguerra. Now, she has been in the United States for about 30 years and has 3 American...
Okay, 30 years. Keep that in mind, 30 years. Been in the United States for 30 years now. She has 3 kids. 3 kids. All born American born. Keep that in mind.
Born children. But she is also in the United States illegally from the great country of Mexico. But Jeanette also has the distinction of being one of Time Magazine's most influential people. Now, yes, this is the same Time Magazine who named this guy.
Yeah, so, I mean, it doesn't mean that, the person's a good person. When they say that, most influential man of the year, woman of the year, whatever, Time Magazine, it doesn't mean they're good or bad. Or, yeah. But anyway, because they put Hitler in there,
Man of the year. But your first question should be, why did Time Magazine name this woman one of the most influential people of the year?
I'm going to guess because she knows how to persuade people in the law.
And here is CNN explaining it.
A Colorado mom and immigration rights activist who right now is living in the basement of a Denver church finding sanctuary from the Trump administration's deportation push has been named to Time's 100 most influential people in the world. Jeanette Vizguerra, who came to the U.S. from Mexico about 20 years ago, she has been living here undocumented ever since and has 3 American-born children under the age of 12.
Okay, when I hear this, story like this, she's been here for 20 years. 20 years. Okay, why are you still illegal? You know what I mean? Well, how come you haven't fixed your status? Get papers, get help, especially when you're being helped by the church. And that shouldn't be, man. That church shouldn't be helping criminals Anyway.
She also has an older adult daughter. Vizguerra came to the attention of U.S. authorities about 8 years ago during a traffic stop, and since then she has had regular check-ins with ICE. She's repeatedly been granted a stay of her deportation order, but during her last check-in in February, the first under the Trump administration, her stay was not extended. She sought sanctuary at the church. This is her 67th day now living there. Jeanette Vizguerra joins me now from that Denver church along with her attorney Hans Meyer. Welcome to you both.
Now, this is why where you get your news is very important. CNN didn't tell you exactly why she was being deported. They talked about her kids and all these other things, the consequences of deportation. But listen to why this woman is being deported.
This is a photo provided by ICE Denver today showing Jeanette Vizguerra as she was being arrested on Monday. She's shown wearing cuffs and a belly chain. ICE today said her run-ins with federal...
Now, the first thing the liberals and all those people that don't know what's going on, the first thing they see is an old lady, being detained, and an immigrant being detained with, chain and handcuff and all that. So it's a bad thing to see. Emotion runs high when you see that.
Federal agents began in 1997. ICE described her as a convicted criminal alien from Mexico. Agents said she was first convicted of forging documents in Arapahoe County in 2009. Since then, she's been in and out of immigration courts and at one time self-deported, but then re-entered the country illegally.
She broke the law by crossing the border illegally, decided to drive without a driver's license, decided to use someone else's social security number, decided to leave the U.S. while she was here going through the court process, came back into the U.S. illegally again. And this is the right thing to finally do. She's gone through the process. It is time for her to go home.
Let me ask you something. How much of your personal information do you think is online right now? Now, back to the video. Okay, so let me give you the full background. Back in 1997, Jeanette, along with her husband and eldest daughter, who was 6 years old at the time, came to the United States from Mexico. Now, while the couple was here illegally, they had 3 children. And because the U.S. observes birthright citizenship, those 3 children are U.S. citizens. So now,
well, Nate, I don't know about that.
Now let's fast forward to 2009, where Jeanette is pulled over by Denver PD. Now, police found a fake social security card with her name and birthday on it, but it was someone else's number. 2 months later, she's caught again by police, this time driving without a license and not having insurance. Now, Jeanette pled guilty in both those cases. Now, this led to her deportation because now she's a convicted criminal and she's here illegally. Now, while her legal proceedings were still ongoing, in September 2012, she voluntarily returned to Mexico. Now, in 2013, she's arrested in El Paso, Texas.
A year
Guess
later.
what? She has crossed the border illegally for a second time. And at that time, she was ordered deported again. Now remember, she's ordered deported, but guess who's in office?
Obama.
Well, it's Barack Hussein Obama. He is president at the time who's ordered this woman deported multiple times. Now, 2017 is here, and President Trump is in office for his first term.
Well, an illegal immigrant is fighting deportation by seeking sanctuary in a Colorado church. Immigration authorities denying Jeanette Vizguerra's request to remain in the U.S. The mother of 4 is now seeking a 3-year visa granted to crime victims that would waive her deportation. But immigration officials, they say that she has 2 misdemeanor convictions and has got to go.
Then Time magazine named her one of the most influential people of that year.
Let's get to the next topic. Coloradan Jeanette Vizguerra made national news this week as she appeared on Time magazine's list of 100 most influential people. Vizguerra is an immigrant who most recently made headlines for taking sanctuary in a local church and speaking out against immigration reform.
Now, after about 3 months of living in the church, ICE issues a state.
Speaking out, I guess. Oh man.
For her deportation. And what this did was push the deportation order down the line.
We saw tears of joy outside a Denver church as Jeanette Vizguerra comes out of hiding.
Today, Jeanette Vizguerra emerged from the Denver church where she's been
See
staying.
How that, like they
avoid deportation.
After
After news late Thursday night, ICE granted her a reprieve. She can now stay in the country until March of 2019.
Now, I think it's important to understand she was supposed to be deported in 2009, and this is 10 years later. And even while all this was happening, she kept applying for visas so she can stay here legally.
For you now on an immigrant here illegally who's been living in a Denver church from time to time to avoid deportation. Today we learned Jeanette Vizguerra's latest request for a visa has been denied. The mother...
You see, they hailing her as a hero for breaking the law.
Of four has been taking occasional sanctuary.
Of course he's wearing a Black Lives Matter.
At the First Unitarian Society of Denver since 2017, facing a deportation order since 2009. That's when police caught her driving with false documents.
So now fast forward to 2025. Harris loses the election.
Where is the husband, though? Is the husband back in Mexico, or is he at large in the United States? I don't know.
Trump is in, and he has a new way of thinking about illegal immigration. If you're a criminal, you're going to be deported.
Tonight, President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration is expanding. Not just ICE officers, but other federal law enforcement agencies sweeping across the country. Colorado today targeting the notorious Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, making nearly 50 arrests. And the Washington Post tonight, citing 4 people with knowledge of the ICE briefings, reports quotas have been set of at least 1,200 to 1,500 arrests per day nationwide.
Is that what you're hoping for? Look, we want to get as many criminals as possible, so there's no number on it.
So let's just keep it real. We got a woman who's convicted of 2 crimes, and she has a lawful deportation order that was supposed to be carried out back in 2009. Yeah. And on top of that, this is her 2nd time crossing the border illegally. So yeah, she had to go.
And we're on at 7:30 with some breaking news. Jeanette Vizguerra, the undocumented mother of 4 who made national headlines in 2017 by seeking sanctuary in a Denver church, has now been detained.
Now, this is the same facility where immigrant rights activist Jeanette Vizguerra is being held. ICE detained her Monday while she was working at her job at Target. They say,
wait, this was working?
She entered the U.S. illegally, received due process in immigration court, and now has received a final deportation order.
Okay, so I know what you're thinking. 16 years, multiple removal orders, multiple crimes being committed, in and out of the country multiple times, coming over the border illegally. Finally, it's over. But a federal judge in the last minute stepped in and blocked her deportation.
A federal judge today ruling that immigrant rights activist Jeanette Vizguerra cannot be deported or leave Colorado until her case is played out in court. She is currently being held at the ICE detention facility in Aurora. She was detained on Monday. ICE says her last stay of deportation expired in February of last year, and they have a final order to remove her from the country. Her legal team claims the order is invalid because of procedural problems. Vizguerra is set to appear in court a week.
Procedural problem. Well, okay.
From today.
All right, so let me know what you think in the comment section. Yeah. Should she be deported back to Mexico?
Yes.
Now, again, this has been going on for what, 16 years? Yeah. 2009 to 2025? That's a long time. Now, she has been into this country illegally twice, busted twice, and 2 misdemeanor convictions.
She's not a saint.
Husband's also here illegally. So if you deport both of them together, then I'm assuming all their kids will go with them back to Mexico. Yes. Now, also, do they take any personal responsibility for being in this situation?
No. Well, according to them, probably no.
Because they did come into the United States illegally, set up shop illegally, use false paperwork. And then on top of that, she left and then came back illegally again. But those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts about this story? Because at the end of the day, it's all about you. Would you give her a pass or not?
No, I will not give her a pass. As a legal immigrant myself, my family came from the Philippines, did the right thing through sweat and blood. Get them out.